evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?
Welcome back to the Denver Broncos franchise on Madden 22. I am your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. We are ready for, what is this, Season 3 of the franchise here. The 2023 campaign about to get underway. Before we do so, we need to go ahead and do some pre-game and season stuff, I guess, where we'll set the goal for the year. We're going to try and commit to making the playoffs. I think it's very doable with this roster. So that's going to be the objective, as it probably should be realistically. There's some other stuff here. Opening day, key to victory. We're playing the Lions. Their defense is just not very good. So our key to success here is probably going to be dominating offense. And I think we are going to try and commit to, I'm going to say running game. I think we're going to be balanced, but I also think that we're going to get ahead, and late in the game we'll end up running the ball to try and kind of work the clock, and getting over 150 yards is pretty realistic, if that happens, I should say. So that's that. And then for weekly strategy, let's take a look and see what we want to try and do. So it'll probably be throw for, against this team, I think we need to worry about DeAndre Swift. He's probably the best player on their team, and he's not so great at running inside the tackles. So I think our key to success is going to be trying to stop him getting to the edges in the ground attack. Actually, before we do that, let's make sure that we're set for half pads. Sometimes I mess with that during the off season there, we set it to full pads because you'll get that off week anyway to recover. So that's the plan there. Then offensively, we're going to stick with blitz counter. It's a bad defense. I think we'll pretty much have our way with this team, to be quite honest. So looking forward to a nice day offensively, as long as we just execute, don't have penalties or stupid turnovers. This is a game that we should win quite comfortably. It'll be interesting to see what old James Webber can do at right end. Kind of interested to see him play, and then Will McPherson at middle linebacker going to get his first test at the NFL level, and we'll get to see him in live action as well. So that'll be exciting. All right, so we will probably throw those 2 pass touchdowns, even though we're going to run the ball a lot. I like to try and throw it in once we get close, if I can anyway. And then sacks, I think, are going to be the final objective on the defensive side of things, because if we get the lead, they're going to have to throw it, and that's when I want to get after the QB with some blitzes, or just, drop everyone back in coverage and maybe get a coverage sack with a guy like Jared Goff, who's not very mobile. I assume that he's the QB there, but now that we're actually a couple seasons in, I do want to just kind of maybe take a look at some rosters around the league and see who is somewhere that they weren't at the beginning of the franchise run. And you'll see what I mean by that. We're not going to go position by position. We're going to go team by team and just look at the top 6 or 7 guys and see if there's anyone that's in a new place that I'm not used to. And then we'll try to do that before we play a game. Maybe we'll get a look at the opposing team. In fact, let's just do that. What we'll do is, since we know that we're going to be playing Detroit, let's actually go in and look at their roster before we play them. That way we have a sense of, who they've drafted, who they've traded for, who they've moved on from, etc. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to go to the Lions. Now, is it still Jared Goff as QB? No, they got Jameis Winston with Goff as the backup, and then a youngster, Luke Spencer, as the third string for now. At halfback, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Jefferson. So it's really thin after DeAndre Swift. They've got a fullback who's nothing special. Demarcus Robinson, their best receiver. Quintez Cephas in there. Richie James. Amon-Ra St. Brown hasn't turned into much so far in the franchise. Hawkinson is actually their best player offensively, but I feel like we might be able to neutralize him a little bit. With some pretty decent pass coverage schemes, but we'll see. Taylor Decker, a pretty good offensive line. They should have a decent offensive line, actually. Jackson, they've got Ragnow at center. Bayless, a second-year guard out of Clemson, is actually not that bad. And then they have Penei Sewell at right tackle. So they've got a good offensive line. So it might not be that easy getting after the QB. So we're going to have to really be on it defensively, especially in the secondary. But here's where we should be able to beat up on him. Onwuzurike isn't that bad, but I think he's somebody that we're not really that worried about. Same thing with Floyd Brown at right end. A rookie over there. Up the middle, they're not that strong either. So the defensive line is okay, but not great. And then Okwara, he's not a bad outside linebacker, but he's not good in pass coverage. So if they drop him back into coverage, they're going to be in trouble. Reuben Foster, the middle linebacker, not that great. And then Charles Harris, the other outside linebacker, just kind of average. At corner, they're okay. Okuda is a decent option. Damon Arnett Jr. is way overrated according to the Madden ratings. In real life, this guy was so bad that even though the Raiders could use some help on defense, they cut this guy. He's that bad that he's such a liability that when he's on the field, teams just throw it in his direction and it's like a guaranteed first down or better. But these guys, they don't really have any lockdown corners, but nobody that's a complete liability. So they might be okay in that regard. They're struggling at free safety. A second-year guy that's just not very good. And at strong safety, it's Donovan Wilson, who, again, just not that great. So they don't really have any, big-time playmakers on defense. And honestly, their offense is not that bad, with the exception of their wide receiver core is pretty soft. But, again, it's a team that I feel like we should be able to beat. I think it's going to come down to how well we can get after the quarterback and limit DeAndre Swift on the ground. So that offensive line for them could be a challenge. But let's go on out to Ford Field and take on the Lions in Week 1 of the 2023 season.
And here we go out to Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field, and it is going to be the Broncos coming to town to take on the Lions. First week of the 2023 season with these two teams looking to get off to a good start. And it is going to be the Broncos to receive as the kick is away and the season is underway. And it's going to be the rookie Corey Bryant bringing it back from about the goal line out across the 25 to the 26-yard line, where Denver will start 1st and 10 with Brett Morris in his sophomore campaign looking to get off to a good start. And he's going to hit Noah Fant on 2nd and 8 down the middle of the field all the way to the 47-yard line into Detroit territory in a gain of 25. Next play, he's going to go outside to Cortland Sutton, and that's going to get him down to the 33, and Morris now 2 for 2. It's going to be Trey Stevenson, the rookie, with a big hole up the middle, and that's going to get him down to the 13-yard line. Denver just zipping right down the field here. Now 2nd and 12. Morris slings it outside to Jerry Jeudy, and he is going to reach across the goal line for the touchdown. And Denver right down the field to score. They make it 7-0. Just 3.5 minutes into the ball game. 7 plays, 74 yards, and they lead it by a touchdown. Now McManus to kick. He's going to send this one deep, and it will be taken about 4 yards into the end zone. They'll down it for the touchback, and Detroit going to start 1st and 10 at the 25 with Jameis Winston under center for the blue, silver and blue here, and he's going to go outside to, who is that, Wilson or Cephas, for a pickup of 14 and a first down. Now 3rd down and 3 from the 49. He's going to sling it out to Hawkinson, but he is going to be dropped for a short loss on the play, and Detroit is going to have to punt from out around midfield. On the ensuing drive, it's Brett Morris now on 2nd and 4 back at midfield. He's going to send it deep, and it's going to be Tim Patrick going up to get it. A 51-yard touchdown strike, and Denver has extended this early lead. It's going to be 14-0 with 3 minutes in the remaining in the first quarter. Now it's Jamar Jefferson with DeAndre Swift not playing in this game. That was on 1st and 8 after a nice run that was called back. He gets another nice run, and now it's 1st and 10 at the 37. Now, last play of the first quarter, it's Jameis Winston looking, and he can't find anybody. He is going to get sacked by Spencer Johnston, a loss of 5, and it is going to be 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Detroit an opportunity to maybe get some points here on this drive, get on the board, and cut into this lead. Now 3rd and 11 from the 38. Winston, tons of time, just a 3-man rush, but he's going to have to dump it off to Jefferson. He only gets 3 or 4 yards, and that sets up a long field goal opportunity on 4th and 8. It's a 52-yard try. The kick is up and good, and the Lions are on the board with 10:45 to go in the half. It is 14-3. As Vizcaino connects from 52 yards. Now Morris on 1st and 10, first play of the ensuing drive, play action, and he's going to roll out and hit Jerry Jeudy for a big strike there. They get 26 yards on that one, or actually 29, sorry, and that's good for another first down, obviously. Then it's Cortland Sutton on 3rd and 5, has the connection there on the deep end and gets it down to the 28-yard line. Now 3rd and goal. Morris looking to throw. He's got Sutton open, but had a man in his face and couldn't get a very good throw off there. It falls incomplete. You see there, Albert O, a broken finger. He will be out for the remainder of this game. And then on 4th and goal, it's a chip shot, and McManus hits. So it is back to a 14-point lead, now 17-3 late in the first half. Now, Jameis Winston, ensuing drive, looked like he was going to take off and run with it, but changed his mind, steps back into the pocket, and gets sacked by Draymond Jones. Not sure what Winston was thinking there. Now 3rd and 16, he's going to look to throw. He's got a 3-man rush facing him here. Plenty of time and protection. He's going to roll out and buy some time, and then he slings it downfield, and that ball is going to be complete to Wilson for a first down all the way to the 42-yard line, and it's 1st and 10. Now 3rd and 11, and he's going to throw it over the middle to Hawkinson, who's going to fight for some extra yardage and has the first down, and they convert on 3rd and long again. Now 3rd and 4. Can they convert again? Winston spinning around in the pocket, dumps it off to Jefferson, and that ball is complete for a first down. Again, down to the 19. They're into the red zone here with a chance to score late in the half and cut into this lead. Now 1st and goal. It's into the back of the end zone, and it's actually James, not Wilson, so sorry for that mistake earlier as he makes the catch. That would make it 20-10. On the 12-play drive, going 67 yards, they converted on 3rd down several times, and it's now just a 1-score game. But on the ensuing drive, a minute and a half to go, the Broncos run the ball on 1st down and get it all the way out to the 40-yard line. Now 2nd and 12, down the middle to Jerry Jeudy, and he gets it into Detroit territory with down to the 43 with about 35 seconds remaining. They go play action and sling it down the sideline. It's going to be Noah Fant making the catch, gets it down to the 24. Denver would use their final timeout there and kick a late field goal, which is good to make it 20-10. And they come down the field in that last minute and a half to extend it back to a 2-score lead. Detroit clawing their way back into this one after trailing 14-0, but it is a 20-10 deficit. As we look at the stats here, the offense for the Broncos is clicking, 212 yards passing in the first half alone, and they lead it by double digits. Now we'll look at some scores around the league as the Chargers are in Chicago taking on the Bears, and they are just rolling in that one. Justin Herbert, 11 for 12, 143 yards and a touchdown as they lead 21-0 over the home team there. Then it's Cleveland and Cincinnati in the Battle of Ohio, and the Bengals win this one 40-21. Jimmy Garoppolo in his Browns debut was not very good, just 14 of 27, 185 yards, and picked off 3 times. Then we go to Kansas City where the Chiefs are hosting the Dolphins and just barely squeak out a win there. Mahomes was picked off 3 times, but they still managed to get the victory, 21-20. over the fins. Now we go back to third quarter action. It's 3rd and 15 on the first drive. Winston going to roll out. McPherson thought he was going to run with it. Eventually comes up and gets him for the sack. It's a short loss, but it'll make it 4th down and long, and the Lions go 3 and out on their first possession. Now 3rd and 7 on the ensuing drive. Morris down the middle, tries to get it to Hamler, made a leaping effort, but unable to hang on, and the Broncos would punt. Now 1st and 10 on the ensuing drive. It's complete to Robinson down the middle, out to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 24 on the play. Now 3rd and 7 from the 41. Winston looking to throw, fires it outside, intended for Hawkinson, but that's incomplete, and the Lions would punt again. Now 1st and 10. Morris looking to throw. He is going deep for Cortland Sutton, and this ball is on the money, and the Broncos already now down to the 25-yard line on a gain of 58 on the play. A beautiful deep ball there. Now 3rd and goal, and for the second time, he had Cortland Sutton open, coming across the formation, but just sails it. It's incomplete, and they have to settle for another chip shot. That would make it 23-10. It's a 2-score game, but that missed incompletion there, keeping the Lions within those 2 scores, so that's a big one. Winston now on 2nd and 10. Slings it outside. That's Robinson again, and that's out to the 44-yard line and a new set of downs. Now 2nd and 4. Winston looking to throw, going to try and step out, but he is going to be dropped by Khari Willis coming on the blitz. That's going to be a sack and make it 3rd down and 9. They would have to punt. Now 3rd and 7 on the ensuing drive. The Broncos dump it off to Cortland Sutton, who's tackled short of the 1st down. They go 3 and out, and the Lions get the ball right back. Now 1st and 10 on their drive. Down the middle to Hawkinson. That's going to get them down out to the 46-yard line on a pickup of 17. Then it's Winston looking to throw, buying some time with his legs, and then slings it outside, complete to Robinson. A nice catch there. He's having a nice second half. Jonah Jackson shaken up on the play, but the Lions now down to the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Now it would be 3rd and 8. Winston looking to throw. He's going to get it outside. It's Robinson again. He stays on his feet, takes it down to the 14-yard line, a gain of 18, and another 1st down for the Lions. Now 1st and goal. They just give it up the middle to the fullback, who takes it in. And now we are going to be within 6 points here, as it's going to be 23-17, 9:44 to play. Denver getting the ball here, and they have a chance to maybe get this one a little bit better position, as they could get it to 2 scores. They keep it on the ground with Javonte Williams. He's got a nice gain out to the 48. He's got 94 yards on the ground at that point. Now 2nd and 8. They go up the middle with the rookie Stevenson. He's got the 1st down on a gain of 9. And that would make it 1st and 10 at the 37. Now down to 3rd and 8 from the 11. The Broncos ran it, probably thinking that a field goal would make it a 2-score game. They get the touchdown, though, as Tariq Cohen takes it in from the 11-yard line on 3rd and 8. That is huge. Make it 29-17. The Broncos are going to try and go for 2 to make it a 14-point lead. Morris looking to throw. Fired, intended for Tim Patrick, but it's off his hands, incomplete. And the score is going to be 29-17 with 4:20 left to play on the ensuing drive. Jameis Winston looking to throw. Down the middle, it is complete, and that is Robinson again out to the 47-yard line into Denver territory. Now 3rd and 1. Winston looking to throw. Sends it outside. It's complete to Hawkinson, who's got it down to the 30-yard line. Out of bounds with 2:21 to play, and another 1st down. Now 3rd and 1 from the 10. Winston looking to throw. 4-man rush, has plenty of time, but fires into coverage, picked off by Simmons, and with a minute and a half to go and trailing by 12, that would pretty much do it. The Broncos able to run out the clock in this one, and they win it 29-17 and get to 1-0 on the season. A nice victory here, as they threw the ball extremely well in this one, ran it pretty well. The defense was pretty solid, and then came up with that big interception late to put this one out of reach. Jameis Winston and the Lions fall to 0-1 on the early season. And that's not much else you can say about this one. The Broncos pretty much dominated in every facet. They quietly ran for 200 yards on the day, averaging 9 yards a play overall. They win the turnover battle with that late interception. And now we'll get a look at the statistics, as it was a great day for Brett Morris, who ends up going 15 for 21, 291 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So they were slinging it downfield in this one. Jameis Winston, 30 for 40, 284 yards, a touchdown, and an interception on the day. Javonte Williams had 121 yards by the time it was all said and done. Jamar Jefferson did an admirable job in the absence of DeAndre Swift. Trey Stevenson, 39 yards on the ground. Cohen, 24, including a touchdown. And now we look at the receiving numbers. Demarcus Robinson, a huge second half, ends up with 133 yards. Hawkinson, 9 catches for just 55 yards on the day. Cortland Sutton, a big day, 106 yards on 5 receptions. Noah Fant had 54 yards on 3 catches. James, a decent day, including a touchdown and 39 yards receiving. Jerry Jeudy had 63 on 3 receptions, including a touchdown. But not a whole lot else going on other than Tim Patrick and his 1 reception that went for the 51-yard touchdown grab back in the first quarter. Defensively, the leader on both sides was Will McPherson, the rookie, a nice NFL debut with 11 tackles, including 2 for a loss. And then Phillip Knowles, the rookie for the Lions, also 11 tackles, led their team. We look at the sacks as Draymond Jones had 1.5. The free agent acquisition, Kari Willis got 1. The rookie McPherson got 1. And then Spencer Johnston with a half a sack as well. The interception was for Justin Simmons that you saw late in the game. Brandon McManus, 3 field goals, including a couple of chip shots and 2 extra points. Vizcaíno hit a 52-yarder and a couple extra points himself. Joseph's in for the Lions with 1 punt, or actually 4 punts, with an average of 38.2 yards, and then the rookie Gervasi with a net average of 42 yards across 2 punts. And the Broncos win this one 29-17 here in Detroit.
All right, so a win in Week 1 over the Lions. We beat them 29-17. Felt pretty good about that one all along, and frankly, a pretty solid performance by our team on both sides of the football in that one. Really pleased with how that one turned out. Now, we go here, and remember we had set up the objective of rushing for 150 yards. Team got that done, so we get 4,500 XP for the offensive line and 10 staff points as a result of that effort, which is awesome. Good job, team. Now we go into manage the staff, and let's use some of those 35 staff points that we've got. Where do we want to spend those? We've already got this one here is a big one on the overall list. And then if I come over to player personnel, we're pretty much through this one with the exception of being able to sign quarterbacks through free agency a little bit easier. But I don't really care about that one that much because we're not likely to use that. I've got a quarterback of the future. We have a decent backup, and if we're only signing backups through free agency, that's not that big of a deal for me. So let's go ahead now and actually start working our way down through these farther. So we get grinders, where we get impact blocking for wide receivers boosted, and then awareness boosted for our offensive linemen. That leaves us with 17 points, which is not enough to get this one, which would be a big one. But instead of doing that, why don't we come over here and work our way down this side as well. We'll get a stamina boost for our quarterback and our halfbacks and fullbacks. Now we're down to just 8 points and we don't have enough. So we'll get this one done, and then we'll be working down to these two. So we're doing pretty well on the development of our coaching staff. So that's good news. Now, what else do we need to check out here? We've got one injury to address, and it's Bradley Chubb, a pulled groin, and he will miss 4 weeks. So that hurts because he's obviously a key player for us defensively, but I think we'll do okay without him, frankly. We're ready to go ahead and advance now to week 2, and our policy, you know, from here on out, maybe with the exception of the playoff situation, which we'll kind of do on the fly, is we play a game and then we will sim a game until we lose or until we win 3 in a row, whichever comes first. Now, we've got to take on the Chiefs in week 2. We get them at home, but I'm sure that they want some payback here. Let's go with sacks as our goal. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of interceptions against Mahomes, but we might be able to get a couple of sacks. We only need 2 or more. We got to win to get that bonus as well, but we'll see how that goes. We won't be able to control it. So regional focus scouting focus. They had it backwards there on the main menu, but whatever. All right. This guy, left defensive end is the strength of that territory. What all do we want to try and find? So it looks like we're looking for a corner, halfback, wide out, and like corner is our priority this offseason. That's not a strength in this region. So what I'm going to do is, instead of scouting for corners, I'm going to have this guy scout the wide receivers. Now, the only one that they show as far as top prospects is the number 3 projected player overall. We're not going to get him, but let's hope that maybe there's somebody else farther down that maybe we can get. Now, look at this. This is the zone or the territory where we want to scout wideouts. There are 3 of them projected to go in the first round. So this guy is actually going to scout wideouts. And let's go back up here, and instead of wideouts, maybe go look at halfbacks, because there's one there projected to go 22nd, who we might have a chance of getting. So he's gonna go after halfbacks. That guy's going after wide receivers. Here, this guy will look at corners. There's one projected to go 24th. That's about where I hope that I'm picking, or perhaps even later in the draft, where we might need to trade up to get a guy like that. And then in the southeast, defensive end, what all did we say we wanted? Corner, halfback, wide receiver. Let's go left outside linebacker here, maybe. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Let's actually have this guy look at wideouts as well. There are none in the top prospects, but it still shows up as a strength in the territory. And I really want to get another wide receiver. Tim Patrick is running out of gas as far as his overall has actually dropped from last season to this season. So I'm kind of hopeful that we can get a pretty good wideout this year to keep backfilling that arsenal. Now, let's set up our strategy against the Chiefs, which is going to be defend the deep pass. And we're going to probably want to run the ball a little bit. They were really good against the run in their week 1 effort. Let's just go with blitz counter, I guess. That might allow us to stay a little bit balanced. Yeah, I want to throw for 2 touchdown passes. We're going to go get first downs. I'm going to actually set this to pass for 275. There's a chance we're playing from behind and need to air it out. And maybe we'll get that goal that way, where at least maybe we get some staff points even if we lose. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Hang on. All right. So we have some player upgrades, I believe. Probably a bunch to the offensive line because of those bonus XP that we got for our week 1 efforts. So Moody getting better. I'm going to just keep emphasizing power, hoping that the pass blocking comes along with it. Like there, he got 2 pass block power plus some strength. So his pass protection came up along with the power rating. Dillard at right tackle. So I want you to get better at power as well. And the pass blocking went up with it, if I saw correctly. Miners going to do the exact same approach here. Whoa, look at that upgrade. Jeez. That is a really good upgrade right there. I want to be like Ike. He's a decent option at left guard. Mitch Wilkins, our backup center, is getting one. 70 overall is not that bad for a backup. And then Brian Meander, I think this was the guy that we drafted, isn't it? He's just bad. But we drafted him late. We kind of knew that he was going to be bad. So, 22 years old. He's got a few years to get a little bit better before we decide whether we're going to keep him long term or not. And then the rookie James Webster gets an upgrade. He's decent at run stopping. I'm going to also emphasize the power rush with him, hoping that he becomes sort of a dual threat coming off the edge. Because if I go with that one, the power rating will, or the run stopping will also probably come up along with it as we go. So we'll see if that plays out. Bottom line, I want him to be balanced and really good. So we'll see how that shakes loose. I think we're ready to advance here, and let's see if we can pick up a win against the Chiefs, who I would imagine, at least, you know, if this were real life and they got beat 52-17 to end their season last year, they'd come into this one ready to play. So, oh, we beat them by 20. So we stomped them again, guys. This is just, I mean, that, I mean, I would have expected that if we won, it would be a close matchup. It was not. They were not very good offensively. I mean, they were okay, but they turned it over 3 times. We ran the ball pretty well. We turned it over once. Let's look at the individual stats. Morris was really good. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked twice. We got the 3 interceptions against Mahomes, but we didn't get the sacks that we wanted. But that's a really good job of putting it to him. A 49 QB rating for him for the day. I will take that. Javonte Williams was solid. Edwards-Helaire was okay, but not great. Cohen did a good job. Stevenson, 3 carries. He fumbled, and that's probably how we lost the ball. That's not good. I don't want him having fumble issues. Nice day for Cortland Sutton. Young receiver Daniel Shelby, 5 catches, 92 yards. Miles Boykin, 6 for 92 and a touchdown. They do not have Tyreek Hill from the looks of things. Noah Fant was all right. I always want to call him TJ, but Tim Patrick, 38 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy didn't do much for us. Kelsey, 1 catch for 4 yards. And I don't see, yeah, there's no Tyreek Hill. So the Chiefs might not be the same Chiefs anymore. Melvin Ingram is playing left end for them. Is that his normal position? I thought he was a linebacker. Anyway, 12 tackles, led their team. We had a couple of guys with 6. Where's McPherson or whatever his name is? 4 tackles. 1 for a loss, but not very involved. But we get the win. That's all that I really care about. Reed got the sack for us, and then Frank Clark got 1. And then Ingram and Chris Jones combined for the other. Wait. Go back. Let's look at interceptions. Surtain had 2 and Darby had 1. Patrick Surtain is potentially turning into a Hall of Fame corner. Potentially. Brandon McManus, a nice day. Harrison Butker, just a couple of extra points. Gervasi, a decent job punting the football. Wisnowski, a pretty good job on his 2 punts. But we get a win. We're 2-0. And things off to a very good start here in our 3rd season. Really surprised that we won that game. And we did so in convincing fashion, which is freaking awesome. All right, so let's go back here. We're not going to get these bonus points or whatever, but we got to win. And the team did a fantastic job. We get 1,000 XP for the entire team. So, God, it is freezing in my house. And I've got to leave in a few minutes. So, weekly awards. Let's check them out. Who is it? Patrick Surtain, maybe? Yep. 5 tackles, 2 picks. Now, what I'm going to try and do is just kind of get us ready for the next week's action, and then I've got to take off. So, players ready to negotiate. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. So, Judy is the big one. Then it's Darby, and then we're down into the 70s. So it's not a huge year for re-signings. Judy is obviously the main focus. He's already an 85 overall, superstar dev trait, and he's 24 years old. He wants big money and a 4-year contract. And we're going to not only give him pretty good money, I want to make this a 7-year deal. Let's sign him through his 31-year-old season because he's only going to get better. If I give him a 4-year deal, he'd be 28 and probably like mid-90s overall, if not high 90s by that time, and want serious, like crazy money. So we're going to make it 7 years. Let's decrease the signing bonus to, let's make it 4 mil. And we're going to increase the salary to 10. And we'll see if he takes it. If he does, great. If he doesn't, I'll bet you he just says that he wants more salary. And then we'll come back in, lower the bonus, increase the salary until we find a place where he likes it. Boom. So we've got Judy locked up for a long time. That's awesome. All right. Next, Ronald Darby. He's 29 years old. I'm kind of debating whether to bring him back or not. He's got the star dev trait to where even at 30 years old, he'll still probably be in the mid-70s, which makes him a nickel corner at that point in his career, and I don't know if $5 million is a good value. Now, we still have a lot of room left in the cap, and like Cushingberry being a center probably won't be too expensive. We'll let Cohen go. DJ Jones, we will bring him back for that 1-year deal. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Moody, we will want to try and lock up long term. Alexa, stop. Glasgow, we will let go. Albert O, we will want to lock up. Shelby Harris will let go. So let's keep track of who all we know we're going to let go. Let's say Darby is a yes. We let him go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what to do with Hamler. We probably keep him. Kaiser, we let go. That's 5. Keep. Let go would be 6. Let go would be 7. I think we keep Richardson as the backup right tackle. And then Purcell we let go. That's 8 guys we would be letting go. If you've got 7 draft picks, you only need to go get 1 free agent. And if it has to be a corner to just play the nickel role, I'm good with that. So we're going to just let Ronald Darby walk at the end of the season. We might end up re-signing him through free agency, but we're not going to extend him at this point. So that's the strategy there. I'm going to have to take a break and come back and finish later, so sit tight. Okay, so I can't remember where we left off. I think we're basically just trying to get ready for this Week 3 matchup against the Dolphins. Let's go ahead and set our strategy. They are terrible running the ball, so let's just try and stop the pass. Offensively, we will stay with blitz counter pretty much all year long unless there's a team that's like, obviously it makes sense to go more run heavy. And then here, Throw 2 TD passes, get first downs. Let's throw for 275 and get some sacks. Now, I should point out that down here, as far as who we are working on developing, I could probably get away with taking Gervasi off of this and putting a young player on here. I don't care about my punter. So I'm actually going to do this. Let's just come in here, look for somebody around the, high 60s to low 70s with star potential that's also young. Like Spencer Johnston could be a good one. He's only 23 years old. Trey Stevenson. Let's actually do that because that gets us a little bit closer to maybe seeing if he is ready to take over where Tariq Cohen vacates a spot next year. I hit start training, didn't I? Apparently I didn't. Whatever. So we'll do that. I don't care. Like the punter, it's almost irrelevant how good your punter is in this game. As long as they have a kick power around 90 or so, it's fine. I mean, I don't have to punt that much anyway when my offense is doing well. And I feel like I'm good enough, regardless of who we're playing, to be able to move the ball pretty consistently. All right, Will Richardson Jr., just, go with whatever he's best at for the improvement there. Saubert, we will go with possession. Actually, let's go with blocking, because we are never going to throw him the football anyway. So just get him as good at run blocking as we can for those goal line situations. Meander, let's go power. Not really going to matter. He's probably never going to see the field for us, as bad as he is. Alright, so Bradley Chubb, I think I'm going to try and get him to where he's pretty good in pass coverage. The challenge here, though, is that in our 3-4, a lot of times he is blitzing. So, I want him to be a good rusher, and he's already pretty good, and he's decent at run stopping. But there are times where he's going to have to drop back into coverage. So let's try and get him as good at that as possible, so he's just very well balanced. Brett Morris is getting an improvement. We're going to go with field general. I just like to have the best accuracy possible. We got an awareness boost there, which is kind of nice. That'll help us in games that we simulate. Ojemudia is now a 79 overall. And how old is he now? He's 25, so he still has a few more years to continue to get better before he kind of peaks out as a cornerback. Spencer Johnston, we're going to go run stopping. I need him to clog up the lane up the middle. Malik Reed. Let's go pass coverage for him as well. It's okay if you're a 75 overall as well, as long as you are very well balanced, especially at the linebacker position. Jamar Johnston, he's actually not a bad player. He's pretty well balanced, 72 overall now. He's a guy that we could use if we have an injury and feel pretty good about having him back there. All right, so Daquan Burgess, he's a 68 overall, 21 years old, and he's 6'2", 226. I want him to go ahead and just keep getting better as a physical wideout. He's now a 69 overall, and if we just go with that one every single time, eventually he'll get to be pretty good as a threat running those deep routes that we can just fire up jump balls, and he's going to go win those 50-50 battles. How about Corey Bryant? +5 awareness and +1 man coverage with that upgrade. I'll take it. And Patrick Surtain is now going to be up to a 90 overall. And he's a stud. So, that is all of our upgrades, and that was a bunch of them. And I think we should be ready. Actually, 17 staff points. No, I think I need 18 over there, don't I? I can't remember. But let's go ahead and advance through the Week 3 action. We're on the road, But the Dolphins come into this 0-2. They're just not a very good football team at the moment, and I think we can beat them. We lost, and we lost bad. 28-10, and now we've got the Chargers coming to town in a game that whoever wins will be in first place in the AFC West. Now, we're going to play that game, but I think we're actually going to save it for the next episode. So we'll basically be kind of similar to this episode, where we'll start the episode with a game. If we win, then we'll sim until we lose and just kind of feel out the length of the episode to see how things go. So it's going to be a short week. And basically, I think they usually just give you a challenge of like scoring. Yeah, we got to score 4 offensive touchdowns against the Chargers. So it'll be a big game, but we're off to a pretty good start this season. Now, QB1 check-in. They always say, like, who do you attribute your success with so far, blah, blah, blah. What do you expect out of them? I don't expect him to carry the team. I expect him to build chemistry. So, basically the exact same goal here that now they've given us twice, which is score 4 touchdowns against the Chargers. So that'll be a big objective. Now, we've got 1 player up for contract extension, and I believe, yeah, it's Lloyd Cushingberry, who we definitely want to bring back. He's only 25, star dev trait, and he's already a 78 overall. This guy is probably going to be good for a long time, and if I look at his player card, and I go to the ratings, his injury rating is exceptional. Like I was going to say, I don't really remember him missing any significant time. Like if I look at his health, although I guess maybe it won't show it. But anyway, this guy I think could be an anchor for us at center for a long time. We are going to offer him a long-term contract here. It's interesting that he only wants 2 years because I want to sign him for a lot longer. Let's sign him through his year 30 season. And what that'll mean is that we can reduce the signing bonus pretty significantly. Let's drop it down to 1.6. And then we will increase his annual salary. So he wanted 5 years at about $6 million apiece. And this gets us close to that number, a little bit less than that. But it gives him a long-term, security blanket. I think he's going to take this offer. No, he wants more salary. That's fine, but as a a counter to that, when we come back and renegotiate, we're going to lower the bonus a little bit as well. But I kind of want to get him locked up long-term. Let's go ahead and get us to where we're completely ready to play the Chargers next week. And then we'll wrap up the episode. So defensively, Austin Eckler concerns me a little bit, but our team has been pretty good against the run. These guys are not very good throwing it, from what I can see, but they throw it more often than they run. I think we're still better as a team when we focus on stopping the pass. So let's do that. I need to go back and look at the stats from that last game, by the way. Don't let me forget to do that. Offensively, yes, we will stick with blitz counter. Joey Bosa is the biggest thing that we need to worry about. Derwin James in the secondary is always an issue. And then they've got Murray up the middle, the linebacker, that's really good. For these goals, same as usual probably. Let's get some touchdown passes. First downs, passing yards, and sacks. We've had pretty good success sacking Justin Herbert in the past. In fact, the last time we played these guys, we just absolutely destroyed them. Their offense was a joke. The only reason they were in the game, I say we destroyed them. We barely won, but it's because we turned the ball over 4 times, and they got 3 touchdowns on those turnovers. Not even like as a result, and then they drove down the field. Like, they had an interception for a touchdown and 2 fumble recoveries that were scooping scores. All right. Let's get this upgrade done. Draymond Jones, let's emphasize the scheme fit here. He's getting to be a pretty good player. He's 77, actually now a max of 78 for his overall, but very well balanced to where he can do it all pretty well, like above average at everything. That's the kind of player I want on my team. Now we have 22 staff points. I think that's enough. Actually, I know that's enough because I think we're down to where we're spending money on the coordinator upgrades, and those are only like 9 points, aren't they? Yeah, we got the ones there that we want. We haven't started that page yet. Now, over here, there's this one down here that's 27 points, and that's going to be a nice one to have. But let's go ahead and get this one first. Boost release for wideouts. Now we have 13 points to spend, and that's not enough for either of these. We'll get those done. Actually, you know what? Let's go over to the defensive coordinator and pick up one of these. Pursuit by our defensive line, or catching for free safeties. I think let's go with pursuit for the D-line. Alright. We're done with those upgrades. And now what do we need to do? Is that it? Pretty sure that's it. Yep. So we're ready to go. Next episode is going to start off with us at home against the Chargers. And we look to get to 3-1 on the year. The following week is a game on the road against the Packers. And then we've got our bye week. So an early bye for us in week 6. But hopefully we're at least 3-2 at that point, if not 4-1. We'll see. I don't see us beating the Chargers and then simming and getting a win against the Packers. I think we can beat the Chargers, but that game against the Packers on the road when we don't get to control it is a tough, that's going to be a tough one. So that's going to do it for this episode. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, and we will see y'all next time.
Good evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?